All right, guys, here we are. We're back. It's Chat with the Hat. We are live from the beautiful showroom of Shipley's Furniture in Seneca. Man, David and his crew have an unbelievable place here. If you haven't been here yet, you better come by because I promise you there's a piece of furniture that will fit your house great. I'm sure, I was talking to Joe earlier, I know Jamie, she might not have told him, but I bet Jamie been in here several times.
Yeah, I'll have to look back through the credit cards and see. Well, they have got a variety of things here, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean this. I even seen a tractor table over there. So you got the country decor, and you got the high class Clemson. What you call it? The West End Zone Club decor. Yeah, so man, if you hadn't been by here, come by and check this out. They got 2 more locations. We're gonna have Ken here with us shortly. He's gonna be on the show, and he's gonna tell you a little more about it, about the deals that they got for you. But until then, me and Joe gonna take care of some business. He's back by popular demand. I had so many of you that said we want Joe Bostic back again. The last time he was there, we couldn't have hear him because he was talked over at Four Paws. Said people was in the back, so they wanted you back in a silent location where they could hear you.
Yeah, well, now that they probably can hear me, they might not want me back anymore.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I had a interview with George Bennett, and now tonight I've got you. It don't get any better with Southern gentlemen than George Bennett and Joe Bostic. I mean, I'm honored to be able to say that I did it, and good to have you. But I seen you in North Carolina. We're going to take care of a couple more things first, and then we're going to just cover that game.
Okay.
Your opinions, my opinions, which ain't worth much, but I think we've heard everybody's opinions this week.
Yep.
Okay, first thing I want to ask you, and I asked George Bennett the same thing today. I have had a conflict with people and tiger paw magnets on cars, and when one is not at 1 o'clock like they're supposed to be, a lot of people says it don't matter. It's a tiger paw, it don't matter. Hey, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right to me. How do you feel if you see a tiger paw and that thing's turned at 9 o'clock? Does that bother you?
Oh, it bothers me, but I'm glad they got a tiger paw to start with. But you straight, turn it 10 degrees, perfect. And my wife's she has a bigger problem with tiger paws being turned all different ways and whatever, but kind of makes you look like a rookie if you don't have that thing tilted over a little bit. So you don't want to look like a rookie. 1 o'clock and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of them did, and I mean, I guess I instigated that 2 years ago, and now a lot of people look at me as the Paw Patrol. But I'm gonna be honest with you. When you go up to somebody that's got their tiger paw like that, they're not offended. They are thankful that you told them how it's supposed to be. They just didn't know, and it's all about educating somebody. And I tell them, don't go up there and try to make somebody mad.
No.
Just go up there and say, look, it's supposed to be at 1 o'clock, and I promise you, man, Clemson will be better. And those people will be your friend forever, because, I mean, these other people that see it and say, oh, just shake their head, they're not going to do that anymore, because these people have helped you do it right. So now I got that off of my chest to start with, so now we're fired up for the show. Last time you were here, we forgot to talk about this, but didn't you play Ohio State in the Gator Bowl?
Yep. First time Clemson ever played Ohio State, I guess it would have been December 31st, 1978,
yeah.
Which was my last college football game and Woody Hayes' last college football game. So we departed the college scene on the same night for different reasons.
Yeah, that but now Woody Hayes, did we play them before then, or was that the?
No, that was the first time we'd ever played them.
Oh, okay.
So we'd never lost to Ohio State. I think we're 3 or 4-0. I don't know what the number is, but undefeated.
Oh, awesome. So you were there for the punch.
I was there. I didn't know anything about it. Our defense was on the field, and I was an offensive guy. So saw Charlie Ballman intercept the pass, but he runs over toward their sideline, which there's not any crazy occurrence that people start pushing and shoving and whatever. So I run from our, coming on the field because our offense has got the ball now, but we're all over there, and there's a whole bunch of people over there, and they're break it up, and they're throwing flags and all that stuff, and I'm kind of just sitting back going, keep throwing flags. I mean, this is good. We'll be in field goal range before you know it. And so we finally got the ball back, and I had to go to the Hula Bowl the next morning, so I had this early flight. So I dashed into the dressing room, took a shower, got out, went back to our hotel, and so I didn't stick around. And my mother calls me the next day, and my folks were giving me a ride over to the airport, and she calls me about 5:30 or 6, and, hey, you up and about? Yeah, I'm up, showered, I'm packing stuff up. And she said, Woody Hayes got fired. I said, really? I said, wow. And she said, yeah, he hit Charlie Ballman last night. And I was like, well, where'd he hit him at? She said, at the game. I thought he might have hit him in a bar or something. And I said, oh, that's what that whole commotion was? And she said, yeah. I was like, well, news to me. The first I've heard about it.
Hey, so that was before the internet, I guess, huh? And Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not a Facebook guy. I don't get on the internet very much other than, read a few emails, but I still would have been oblivious, so.
Yeah. But, that's crazy that you didn't
and it was so sad, too. I mean, Woody Hayes had such a great career and was such a great football coach, and to leave out that way was pretty bad. And it also took a lot of the, we ended up 11-1 that year, and we had a really good team, 6th in the country, and it really took a lot of our luster away too, because the focus was him and it wasn't on us. Yeah. So, but it is what it is.
All righty. Hey, well, that I meant to ask you that last time, and I'm glad I remembered to ask you this time. All right, we went to North Carolina last week. We're going to talk some current football. I look back at some of the clips that we had before, and we talked about your Arizona Cardinal days. And you informed me before the show a while ago that when you were in Arizona, it was about as hot as it was at Chapel Hill last week.
Oh, it was hotter, but it wasn't as humid as I would have rather played in Arizona at 110 or 12 degrees than play at North Carolina 95 or 6 or 7 plus all the humidity. So, that was some tough weather.
Yeah. Well, and that one, I was down at the field before the game started Saturday.
Right.
And Luganville was out there, and Gary was telling me earlier that he had a thermometer, and it was 115 degrees.
I believe it. I got lucky. I got invited as a guest of my accountant, and he's got tickets on the North Carolina side, and it was all shady
shades
over there. So hopefully I didn't catch any melanoma cancer over there, but I'll tell you, that other side, I was kind of praying for my Clemson fans across the way, because it looked like it was beating pretty hard.
And that was me. And let me tell you, I sit on the south stands at Clemson all the time, and we are blessed on the south stands. You had exactly what we have over there.
Right.
That sun, with 3 minutes to go, was just peeking down behind. So we had it the whole game. And it was smoking.
That would have been a good game for a 7:30 game. That was a hot night. That was a hot day.
Yeah.
And they've had hot games all year. I sometimes I was sitting there talking to my wife earlier and told her, I said, I have no idea how we did this back in the day. And I guess you're youthful and you don't have any sense and you're in fairly decent shape, but God, I'd hate to have to go back out there and try it now.
Oh my goodness! Well, and I hate cold weather, but now I'm about ready for some cool weather.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm ready for summer to be gone. And you're right. This, it was smoking out there Saturday, and it just kept on bearing down.
Right.
All right, let's talk about those fans that made the big board.
Yeah, that was pitiful. Making fun of Clemson fans, and I text somebody I was there. I said they start flying up here and picturing me and putting a caption on it. I said they're gonna get the double barrel middle finger right back at them. I just I don't know. I grew up in North Carolina, and I've always had this perception that the University of North Carolina has always felt like, especially with Clemson, that they're superior, and that that Clemson's a bunch of hillbillies and whatever, and they just I just thought it was just poor taste. I mean, but all the fans there were fantastic. I've got some friends after the game. One in particular came up and was a big supporter. And he said, "Joe, I am so sorry." He said, "I'm embarrassed." He said, "I can assure you that this university will hear from me about that collection." And I didn't say a word to him about it. He came up to me and apologized. So, by and large, most of the North Carolina fans are really good people. And whoever the dummy was that put that up on the board, nothing's unforgivable. But it just was very poor taste, and it just did not show the kind of class that the University of North Carolina is known for.
Yeah. Well, and too, the president's already come out. The president of North Carolina's already come out and apologized. But I mean, just so many of the media people that I seen that said, "What's the big deal? Clemson, it was a joke. Get over it." It's like everything Clemson says is taken out of context.
All right.
And Clemson is the biggest whiners there is. And Clemson is so far from that. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Now, A&M, you would never, I promise you, you will never come to Clemson. Even if that one person that made that mistake with that. Clemson looks at stuff over and over before it happens.
Yeah.
That would never hit the Clemson boards.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, if it ever did, I guarantee you I'd be the first guy in line to be in defense of whatever team or whatever people somebody's making fun of. I mean, I mean, I like to have as good a time as the next guy, but to sit here and make fun of some guy's size or his weight or whatever, it's just bullying's what it is.
Yeah.
And I've got no use for it, and it's not right, and it ain't gonna make anybody play any better, and it ain't gonna make the football game any better, and making that one guy feel bad, and it's just not worth it, and it's just not right.
Yep. All right, let's get on to the game. Man, that thing, I know I picked the wrong score. You probably thought we was going to win by more than one, too, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. I was telling Jeff on the way over there, I said, man, I hope this place is cleared out by the end of the game. We're up, 21, 28 points, and this place is cleared out, so won't be any traffic. But that was not the case. I'll tell you what, I've got, there's one thing, to critique Clemson and critique our team. But, the first and foremost thing I want to do is Coach Mack Brown and the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. Those guys played their tails off. They were not intimidated. They did not take a quarter. They didn't give a quarter. They played as hard as they could for 60 minutes, and nothing could be taken away from those guys. Those guys did an excellent job. I just don't think we had one. I don't think we had one of our better games. But it's kind of been a theme here in the last 4 or 5 years. We do always kind of have that kind of game, and usually we come out of the hopper on the other side looking like a much better team. So hopefully, that's what's going to happen. But when you got 18, 20-year-old kids and and they're expected to come fired up at 100%, 14 games or 13 games or 12 games, whatever the number is. It's just hard to do.
Yeah.
And I went through it when I was in college, and and those kids are playing just as hard as they always do, but it's like a lack of focus. You see guys jumping off sides, you see guys making silly penalties.
Yeah.
It's like my old coach, used to look at me, and I was a guard, and basically we had a guard that was jumping off side quite a bit. He would look at me and say, "Joe, you're jumping off side. You're 3 feet from the ball. And can you not see it?" I said, there's been a lot of things that have changed in football over the last number of years, RPOs and all this stuff and all kinds of stuff. But the one thing that hasn't changed, you can't move until the ball moves. So, but I'm sure Coach Sweeney's going to get a handle on that and get that straightened out. But, just almost inexplicable mistakes.
Yeah. Well, talking about that jumping off sides, with you being an offensive lineman, I mean, what do you attribute that to? Was the crowd noise? I know when people come to Death Valley and they hear that noise, man, we see that all the time. But we just hadn't seen that with this team
No, I didn't think it was that loud. It was. I thought it was kind of a normal loudness for a game. It wasn't nothing like Texas A&M.
Yeah.
And it was nothing like Death Valley. It's when we play in bigger games with many more people than that. Most of the time, what I saw was somebody on the defense was either saying something or they were faking a jump. Jumping out of a stance or doing this or that, and we were focusing on them. And boy, they moved. We moved right there with them. And you just can't do that. You've got to be disciplined and.
Well, and that was like, I think 6 times that happened, and I remember several times it happened on 3rd and 1.
Oh, it was.
So that 3rd and 1 goes to 3rd and 6 or 7, and that's a total different.
Yeah, we had a number of short 2nd and 3rd down plays that, 5 yards is huge.
Yeah.
When you start, you look at your playbook on the calls you're going to make on 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, and then you look at your 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 11, whatever. The playbook changed drastically, and and then you could tell North Carolina was playing a type of game that they were not taking many chances. They were basically zone defense, keeping everything in front of you. And what basically Mac Brown told you is, Clemson, if you can drive the ball 14 play drives and score touchdowns, you're gonna kill us. But if you sit there and you start sputtering a little bit, then you're gonna have problems. They're gonna keep you in 3rd and long, and there's gonna be I can't remember the last time Clemson had as many 3 and out play drives as we did this past game.
No, I agree.
It was a bunch, but it's football is a tough sport. It's 18, 19, 20-year-old kids and emotional and But last year, this thing reminded me so much of the Syracuse game of last year.
Yeah.
And then after the Syracuse game, we rolled off 10 wins in a row. All of them were over 20 points. So
Yeah. Well, I got a feeling after that week off, it ain't gonna be a week off. They got plenty to work on and a lot to fix. I mean, but like you said, back to those 17, 18-year-old players. I mean, there's a win is not guaranteed, is it?
No.
Just because you're Clemson and you're number 1, when you travel up there, you still got to play.
Yeah, it's a curse. I mean, that number 1 ranking is a curse of death, because in your mind, and I never been on a number 1 team in my life, but in your mind, where am I going to go any higher? I mean, I'm at the top. So, and then you start looking at the mirrors, and then you start reading the newspapers, and you start seeing all this, man, I'm pretty good. Man, I'm good. Man, and all this, that. And so, and about that time's when the guy punches you in the mouth, and, in the proverbial bar scene, you're going over to the jukebox, and the next thing you know, the game's over, and you got beat. And you're like, how'd that happen?
Yeah.
These guys are not as good as us. Well, it happened because you weren't entirely focused and ready to play. And, and I hear people all the time griping and, complaining about things and about a game, and we didn't want to be here, or we just not, especially in bowl games and all that. But, they give you about 6-8 month warning. North Carolina, our team knew that day in September we were going to be going to North Carolina and we were going to be playing. So it's up to us to prepare ourselves to be ready for that day, that time, to be ready to play. And but it's a good thing when you can play your subpar game and still win. So there's a lot to be thankful for and a lot to be blessed by, and we got a good team.
Well, and 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was listening on a Monday night. It was a Dabo call-in show, and I don't very seldom call in, but I called in, and he said, "What's up, Pat?" And I told him, I said, "Well, I'm gonna just tell you, I've already made my plans for New Orleans, and at the end of the season, we're going to be 30-0." And Don Munson said, and I've already told him that, I agree with you. And Dabo's like, "It's people like y'all that's making my life hard." He said, "I just hope my players aren't listening to you two."
Yeah.
And now, man, he got my attention now, because there is nothing guaranteed.
No.
And man, you got to bring your A game, because like you said, everybody has got a bullseye on Clemson.
That's right. You're going to get everybody's best shot, because this is the one game if you beat Clemson, hey, we beat the number 1 team in the country, and now the number 2 team in the country. So you better be ready for that challenge. And the bottom line is you may end up being 30-0. but you've got 30 individual contests that you got to deal with one at a time, day at a time. And the only, you're not going to get 30-0 by tomorrow. I mean, you got to actually go out here and play these games and win these games. And so the long-term result doesn't need to cross your mind. Just play this game, focus on this game, give it the very best that you can. And my hope, especially with the offensive linemen, when I was a senior, we had a older offensive line, and we almost like we grew past dealing with playing against a certain team. And I don't think we watched film, we did all this and all that, but we kind of got to this point where we just wanted to annihilate people. And we really didn't care who we were playing next. If we were playing Wake Forest, or we were playing North Carolina, playing State, or whoever, and we didn't kill every team we played.
Yeah.
But that was our goal, was just to beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
And hopefully, and there were games that we played that we're walking back to the huddle and we're all looking at each other and saying, these guys are quitting. And we knew it.
Yeah.
And so the challenge is to try to go beyond just this, okay, we're playing Florida State this next week. You focus on Florida State, you focus on their schemes and what they do, but as a football player, when you really want to get good, your whole thought is domination and working with these other guys and just dominating people and not worrying if the score's 30-0 or if the score's 3-2. You're just coming out and you're just nailing people. And that's my hope, that as the year goes on, and there's 4 seniors on that offensive line, that kind of leadership will take over and be the mindset.
Yeah, because I think what he was talking about, we had like 80 seniors, freshmen and sophomores on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this very young, but those boys got that fourth quarter playing time
Right.
last year. Do you think, I've heard several people say maybe the starting team hadn't had enough time in the game before he takes them out? What's your opinion on that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know you leave it up to Dabo.
Yeah. I got I see stuff and whatever, but Dabo's out there every day. And I always thought as a player, how arrogant it was of people giving their opinions about everything that sit there and watch a game on TV and don't have the opportunity to, like we used to, you'd have a film on and you'd run it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and see every step that you would take during the course of a game and during the course of a season. And so, I just leave it up to the coach himself. And, he knows what's best. He knows what he needs to do. I think it's really good that Clemson people get alarmed, because Clemson people are good fans and they understand football. So I don't have any problem with them voicing their opinions and getting on the team, or being a little bit critical or whatever. But when it really gets down to it, I just have so much faith and trust in Dabo Swinney. If he had a bank account at a bank with me, he'd have a bunch of money in it, because what he's done over this 10, 11 year period he's been here, really has been nothing short of phenomenal. Yeah. And he's an impressive man. I think he's got a good handle on his team. He loves his team. I think those guys love him.
Yeah.
And it's a somebody asked me, too long ago, what would you change about this program? I said, I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
I said, man, I think we're in a great place. I said, there's 100 and some odd schools that would love to be Clemson.
Yeah. Well, and Dabo too. He knows that game wasn't perfect, and they got something to work on. So you just leave it in his hands that he's going to fix it. And I think, like you said, we're going to see a total different team.
Yeah, the thing with about all his teams, they always have gotten better and better week after week after week, and not every week got better. But
Yeah.
But over the course, if you go back 10 feet above, the records and what's going on, that team just gets better and better and better and better.
Well, in that same game this week that we just played North Carolina was 1 year to the day from Syracuse last year.
Wow.
So it's crazy that we were that close in that one and that close at North Carolina. The only difference was when we lost in Syracuse for the first championship, we lost the game.
That was a little later, wasn't it?
Yep. Then we lost to Pittsburgh But this one, I think this was that game.
Yeah.
We pulled it out.
Yeah.
So hey, what about going forward on going for 2 points at the end? What
Well,
do you think
I
about that?
think it was a good move. If you're the worst team, in my opinion, and your defense has been out there, it played a lot of plays on defense. I think, to me, if you would go to back in the days when we used to play Florida State and they were better than we were, or North Carolina playing us now, or whatever, if you had an opportunity to be 3 yards away, and you have, and I call it, to me, a 2-point conversion is a 50-50 play. So if you're the inferior team and you got a 50-50 chance of winning the game, then I think you take that shot, because the longer you play, the better team is going to win.
Yeah.
And the deeper team is going to win. And like you said, it was hot as the dickens out there, and I guarantee you that defense at North Carolina was very tired. And, we probably at some point would start, exploiting that defense, because those guys, they just weren't as deep as we were.
No. All righty. Hey, you want to swap out and let Ken come in and tell us a little bit about Shipley? We'll have you back in a minute, Joe.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Hey, we got Ken here, the manager here at the Seneca store, and man, he's got some trophies here. He's gonna tell you a little bit about what they got to offer and how you can get one of these trophies. And it ain't real hard, is it?
No, sir.
Good to have you today.
Good to see you again today, bud.
Yes, sir. Tell them what you got. Tell them your address, where you're at, what kind of stores you have around the upstate. You
Okay.
got what, 3 locations?
Yeah. What we've got, this is our Seneca store, and we've got the upstairs, the basement. We've actually got 3 more showrooms on Ramcat Alley, as well as these 2 stores right here. We also have a huge showroom in Easley, South Carolina. It's at 829 South Main Street over in Easley, South Carolina, and the address here is 114 North Fairplay Street here in Seneca. Come down and see us anytime. We've got a huge selection at both stores. We're not your average cookie cutter store whatsoever. We do everything we can for everybody in the local area, and we've been very welcome in the local area, and we sure do appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, when I walked in, I was like, wow. I mean, this is high end. Like I said earlier, I mean, you got a little bit of everything here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I say, we try to keep a very broad selection of everything from accessories down to recliners. Whatever you need for the house, whatever you need for game day, we can get you a comfortable seat so you can sit back and watch the game if you're not at the game. So
Yeah.
we got
Farm
everything you
tables.
need.
I see old farm tables here. I mean,
Farm tables for plenty of fried chicken, whatever you need. We got it all.
Man, that sounds good there. Hey, what kind of, tell them what you got to offer.
We got these little special plaques from Clemson. This is the one where they beat Alabama 35-31 back in 2016. Got another one right here. Great 2018 44-16 win over Alabama. Mention this show in the next few days. Come in here with any purchase and you'll get a free one, whichever one you want with purchase. Just a little added addition that we're offering our local customers and people from all over.
Yeah. Hey, and these things, while limits last.
Yep.
It looked like to me you had, what, like 20?
I think we got 20 or 25 of them.
So,
Yes, sir.
I mean, don't sit home and think about it. Come tomorrow and get your plaque and get you a piece of furniture from here.
Exactly.
Anything, what about sales or anything? You got any kind of specials or?
Well, right now we're having a huge clearance sale at our store in Easley, and again, that's something that's a must-go see. About 55,000 square foot of showroom space over there in Easley, and we're doing a huge liquidation sale as we speak. So a lot of great deals, a lot of great prices down there. And again, the Seneca store here, we're close to the lakes, close to downtown Seneca and the mountains. So we have a huge selection of anything you need for the inside of a house. Any color. If you see a sofa that you like in here, we can typically get it in any fabric or leather that you want. All American made frames for sofas and upholstery pieces. So a lot of great selection. Sell a lot of lazy boy recliners in here.
Oh yeah, that whole wall back there is full of them.
We love our lazy boys here. If you're a female, we'll call it a lazy girl if you want to come in here and buy a lazy boy. So tons of selections. We got some Bostic size recliners. We got some Kent size recliners. We got some more petite recliners as well. So we've got a huge selection of sizes and styles for you to look at.
People, let me tell you, don't just listen to us and watch this show. Come in here and see for yourself. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a man, and I don't pick out furniture. That's all left up to my wife and daughter. But I'm impressed. So come by here tomorrow, get your plaque, buy you a piece of furniture, make that wife happy for you. Bring her with you.
And just to mention this as well, we offer interior design service.
Yep.
And a great thing about that interior design service, free of charge, as long as you're purchasing from us. So there's no hourly fees whatsoever. So if you want to get the house decorated up before game day, if you've got a bunch of friends coming, call us up, let us know. We'll come out and we'll deck it out for you and have it ready for all your company to come in.
Paying that per hour for a decorator is not cheap.
It gets outrageous, but like I say, if you're buying furniture from us, we want to be fair with the local company, or local people in the area, and shopping local means a lot to us.
Yep.
We really do appreciate everybody that shops local here in this area. So we always take care of all of our local people.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate you letting us have a show here.
Thank you.
And appreciate you being the sponsor on Clemson
No
Sports
problem.
News.
Thank you for having
Yes,
us.
sir. Tell David we said hello.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, do we want to talk about some basketball today? I mean, you went, nah? All right. Come on back in here, Bostic.
I'm back.
What we got? We got about 25 more minutes to go. Something just hit my mind, and when you're on my show, we don't go by notes. We just whatever we think. Did you get have you ordered your tickets to girls softball yet?
I don't know if my wife has or not. I don't even know. I've been out of town for a few days, and but I want to go there. I've been riding by that stadium, and boy, I think it's nice.
Well, and I seen them the other day out there practicing. They got the side down and all. But tickets, your season tickets, are on sale now. So you better get them if you want your good ones. But George said today that he was going to Central Wesleyan to see them in a scrimmage tonight.
Wow.
So they're going there to play. But, man, I think girls softball is going to be a plus to Clemson.
Oh, yeah. It'll be exciting. I don't know how long it's going to – and maybe they'll start out being really, really good. I don't know what the dynamics of that sport and how competitive it is. But I'll tell you what, it's a quick sport. And and they have the tournaments on, toward the end of that season,
Oh, yeah.
and I watch them on ESPN. And those girls, man, they can really throw that ball.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Well,
Yeah.
they hit me with that ball going that fast, we'd have a problem.
Oh yeah. Well, and that thing, the way they built the stadium out there with us in the motorhome lot, people think that that's what it's going to be, but they're fixing to take the outside fence down, so we're going to have more rooms for the motorhomes.
Right.
But man, when you look at the size of that field and how fast that ball moves, man, if you can't see, you don't want to sit right there where there's no protection.
Well, it's going to be a, it's a fast sport, and it's it moves, and I think it's going to be. Sometimes baseball games can get a little
Drawn out.
Yeah, guys throwing to first base, and come on, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
And
Well, seeing Golden Strip down in Greenville, Simpsonville, Fountain Inn, Hillcrest, man, those girls, every one of those were going to different colleges. And I was like, why in the world do we not have a softball team? Well, now we got it. And, man, John has got that team already looking like a team.
I'd be surprised if we're not a really, really good team at some point, and not very near future. I just, and like I said, I don't even know how the recruiting's going, or if we've gotten some really good kids, or I don't know. But I know there's a lot of enthusiasm for sports, and I get a feel that this girls softball is going to be a big thing, real big.
All right, something else just came to my mind. You've seen where California, and I know California's pretty screwed up anyway, but did you see what they did this week?
I did.
What do you think about that?
Well, it's I'm a fan that kids, back when I was in school, you couldn't have a job, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. I mean, it was just a struggle. You never had any money. I never understood why it was such a problem to find any kind of employment as a kid during the summer. So, I'm in favor of these kids being able to make some money on themselves, and but the NCAA to me has been dragging their feet, and it needs to do a better job of it. Now, do I agree with the state of California ramrodding like they usually do? No, but things need to change. There needs to be some common sense reforms made that allow kids, because God, when I was in school, there were so many kids, and I was right there with them. We didn't have enough money to go out and eat dinner and stuff like that. And and it seems to me that if a kid wants to have a job, even if he had a job during the season, if he were working, did some from at night or babysat or did something. I mean, he should be able to make a little bit of money so he can have go out and go on a date and do whatever. But my fear is that it's going to be an arms race where you have car dealers and all this stuff, and this recruit over here, Trevor Lawrence, the next Trevor Lawrence, boy, he's a top-notch guy. So we got to get 3 car dealers together and package up a deal and pay him a bunch of money. So that's my fear. So hopefully the smarter people will prevail and get together and do something that's fair for the kids. And I just don't want to see this, the rich get the better players because because it's like an auction, and that's not going to be good for college football at all, or college sports in any shape, form, or fashion.
Well, somebody was saying if they had, say, like a jersey, say Nike had a jersey, that they could get them an agent and have a contract for that jersey. And I said, so if it was Nike, well, if your school is Adidas, then you can't work out a contract with Nike. And I was like, so that sounds like to me, okay, well, wait till next year. I'll hit the portal. I'll come to your school where you got Nike. Is that how that stuff works?
Oh, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be a dicey thing, and it doesn't need to be where we have an open auction for players. I mean, that's what's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And you could have a guy, the guy just passed away that was a big benefactor for Oklahoma State, T. Boone Pickens. Now, if you had a guy that's a multi-billionaire, shoot, what do you do? And he gave that university, I understand, $643 million to redo their stadium and everything else. So what if you had one guy like that who allocated that much money and go get the best 25 recruits you can. There's $100,000 each. That would you $2.5 million for a guy like that is peanuts. I mean, he wouldn't care. And my fear is that it gets to be that, or beyond that. You get 10 guys. You go to Texas A&M, one of the wealthiest. They get all this old guy money, and hey man, let's throw $200 million in a pot. So.
Well, I remember last year when we was at A&M, they told me, said, we want a national championship. Said, we got a lot of problems here, but money ain't one up.
No, they.
Yeah.
They could. They signed Jimbo Fisher a big contract, and for whatever reason, if he fell out of favor, they could get 10 or 12 guys, pony up, and they could pay him off and see you later, Jimbo, and have a nice life. Not that he's in any trouble or anything, but I'm just saying they got wealthy people there.
Yeah. Well, so now they're talking about not just California, but now they've got some more states. But doesn't the players? Some people don't. I really don't know. But don't they get like a annuity or something that they live on every month?
Well, they get what they call a cost of living in each school is a different amount.
Yeah.
If you were in Los Angeles, your cost of living expense would be different than Clemson, so to speak. But really, it should equal out that the rents are this and food's this and whatever, and the cost of living is higher over here than it is over here. But these Clemson's budget in athletics got to be over $100 million or close to it. It's just a lot of money. And the majority of that's being generated by football players. So when you're sitting there looking at $100 million piling up in a fund over here, and you got a coach making $9.3 million, I can see why a player's like, and I can't even get a job in the summer. Really? I mean, it's a terribly antiquated system, and I don't want to see it where kids are making hundreds of thousands of dollars as quote amateur athletes, but the system's out of whack right now.
Yeah. Well, and two, if that thing started with those jerseys, would the better players or the higher rated players not get better deals than the offensive linemen? Or
Well, I would envision the thing with the jerseys that it would be, you just kind of agree to an allocation of some sort. If we sold your jersey, you'd get 10% off each jersey, or just pick an arbitrary number.
Yeah.
And if you're number 97 and you're the third team defensive end, I doubt very seriously that jersey gonna sell very much. But if you're number 16 and you're the first team All-American quarterback, I expect you're gonna make a pretty good amount of money off of selling that 16 jersey with what is 6, 8, 10 letters on the back. So,
Yeah.
But smarter people than me will have to figure that out. But it needs to be carefully researched. And if I were the NCAA, I wouldn't be sitting around, scratching my backside. I mean, they need to be getting on this thing and get something going, because there are certain times in life and in all kinds of businesses where things are coming.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, this thing's coming.
Yeah.
So if you're sitting there wasting your time trying to figure out how to lawyer up or do this or do that, I think you're wasting your time. The best thing you can do is try to figure out an equitable plan that's going to allow college sports as we know it to survive, but it's not going to throw everything out askew, and that's what we don't want.
Yeah. Well, we don't want agents camped all out over at the football facility waiting on their players every day after practice either.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I want is, Clemson has inherent positives right now in football. A lot of things that were done long before Dabo Swinney got here, Charlie Pell, Frank Howard, Danny Ford, all kind of have built up a legacy here. So we have inherent advantages over Dukes and Wake Forest and North Carolinas and yada, yada, yada. Now, on the other side, when it comes to basketball, we have to fight an uphill battle. I mean, we don't have the heritage and the history that Duke and North Carolina and those have in basketball. So we see it from both sides. We've got advantages in football. We have to deal. It's just a little tougher job, for a basketball coach at Clemson than it is for the football coach.
Yeah. Well, in basketball today, funny you should say that, they kicked off basketball season today. So hey, before you know it, we'll be still flopping two sports going on.
Absolutely.
There. That's when it gets tough, but it's fun though.
Oh, it is fun, and I wish Brad and the whole Tigers the best of success. And a couple of years ago, we made a run to the Final 16. Maybe we can get there again.
Yeah. All right, Gary, do you know what about recruits? Where do we stand on recruiting? Do you?
Well, we got about 3 or 4 guys we're waiting on right now.
Okay.
There's a couple defensive ends and a couple linebackers we're waiting on. Other than that, the class is pretty much wrapped up for the year. Yeah.
Okay.
You're waiting on a kid named Justin Flo.
Yep, that's the linebacker from California.
Linebacker from California, and
Yep.
Jordan Birch, the defensive end out of Columbia, South Carolina. Those 2 guys are the only 2 you're waiting on right now.
Okay, both of those Clemson.
Well, leaning to Clemson. If it was today, I think you would get Flo. It's a coin flip on the Birch kid. Georgia's been creeping in there lately. But I think right now, if you pin him down, it'd be Clemson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but right now, I think if you today, because today was signing day, you get both guys. But again, we got a long way to go to December before those guys decide.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, I hope you could hear that out the backside. Gary, if you go to Clemson Sports News and Recruiting, you're going to see all this. You don't have to hear it from Gary out of a chair in the back, because all of that stuff is right there on the website for you. Go over there now, and we now have our own live YouTube. So just go to YouTube. You might be watching the show here tonight on YouTube, and just click on it and join. and see everything that you can see on the site is on YouTube, right?
We were at basketball today, from Basketball Media Day. Later on this evening, you'll have Brad Brownell and Coach Amanda Butler's video interviews up there to watch tonight. There's one thing on YouTube you can see right there.
Okay, so go get your basketball fix.
You know, and that's another thing. That women's basketball, that lady,
Coach Butler's got it going on. Yeah.
I mean, God, we have suffered for a number of years, and boy, I've never met this lady, but obviously she knows what she's doing, and she is a top-notch coach. And got back to playing women's basketball like we did back in the day, and very competitive. And I look for big things out of her too. So there's a lot of things. A lot of things to have a smile on your face about Clemson University and the sports things.
Well, and she stepped in the door, and man, she was on the run from the time she got there, man. We started winning games that we hadn't won in 10, 12 years.
Oh, yeah. She did a heck of a job last year. And
Hey, she got her house. Guess where she got her furniture from?
well, she's
Shipley.
smart. She got it right here.
Yeah, she did. So
I'll tell you what, when you guys were talking to the fellow just a minute ago, but I'll tell you, this place has got all kinds of stuff, lamps and mirrors and pictures and clocks and and light fixtures and sofas, and they got everything here. If it goes inside a house, or I guess even outside a house, you could do it. It's and I'm just looking at one of the little buildings they have, and so they.
If you can't find it here, you kind of got a problem.
Yeah, you don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, I mentioned about the other programs. Golf, 2 top 25 teams right now. Soccer has 2 top 10 programs. You got Clemson football at number 2. So, there's a lot of good things going on in Clemson sports right now. Lots of good things.
That's a good time to be a Clemson Tiger.
Absolutely. It's never been a bad time. It's a better time to be a Clemson Tiger. And the thing that I've been so impressed, I got here in 1975, so I've seen a lot of basketball and a lot of football and a lot of baseball and a lot of this and a lot of that. I don't ever remember having so many administration, athletic department, the coaches, all working together and trying to pull the wagon in the same direction. To me, any business you're in, organization, team, whatever, man, the more people you have pulling that wagon in the right direction together in unison, then you've got a better chance of being successful. And that's what I'm seeing here with President Clements, Dan Radakovich. It's like a unity thing where everybody wants Clemson to be successful. And I'm talking academically. I'm just as big a fan of us doing good things academically as I am athletically. Yeah. I want this school to be the best in every area if that's possible.
Yeah. Well, and the last show we had here, I don't remember if you were there, but we talked about that big tiger paw that was missing off of the south stands.
Yes.
And there was those boards.
Right.
Oh my God, those boards are awesome now. How long did it take you to get used to that? About 1 or 2 wins.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm still used to it, but put that paw up a little higher up there on the same wall.
Yeah, but those boards and all. Now I never knew. I go in gate 13 every time. You know what? Till they put those boards up, I never knew what gate that was. Yeah. But now when you ride around, even at night, you don't even have to have lights because that thing brightens it up. So, but it pretty much looks like a big time program.
Well, it is. It's a big time program, and it takes a lot of money to make that happen. And whatever we have to do within reason to generate the kind of money we need to have a top notch program in every aspect of athletics, and I'm willing to do that. It's not even the town of Clemson. It's a little harder. It's quite a bit harder to travel around than it was in 1975. There's more traffic, there's more housing, it's more whatever. But it's part of the deal. It's as you get to be big time, you get big time in everything.
Yeah.
And but I sure love that little university.
Yeah. Well, kind of got it made there, and everybody just be happy. That thing, I seen a bunch of it coming out of Chapel Hill the other day, and you was shaking your head, and you was fussing, but Dabo will take care of it, and I promise you, we'll see a different team, well, same team, but a different game come Florida State.
You know, yeah, in the last 4.5 years, you know what our record is?
50 something and 4, ain't it?
60 and 4.
60 and 4.
Yeah, 60 and 4. So that's 97, 6-7%. I mean, it's, you know, when they talk about the good old days, these are the good old days.
Yeah.
Right now, right here, right now. And we keep winning, and, you know, and I don't see this, you know, this program, you know, we might lose a game or two here or there, but this program is on solid footing. And I truly believe Dabo when he says the best is yet to come. I mean, I just that guy's made a believer out of me. And
Yep. All right. Hey, well, that's it for the show this week. Anything else, Gary?
Good.
All right. Well, Kendra, thanks for the production today, and I'll get a thumbs up when I get home from my wife if you did a good job. Hey, thanks for being here at Shipley's Furniture tonight. Thanks for them being on board. Hey, our title sponsor for Chat with the Hat, Ingles, low prices, love the savings. Man, I miss that part every time, but I'm going to just tell you, Ingles is awesome. They have come to bat for the hat, and we'll be at an Ingles store near you soon. So, live from Shipley's Furniture, we're going to all head to Four Paws, get us something to eat. Go Tigers.